just to further feed my suspicions on Alex Jones, John DeCamp, who did this conspiracy of silence, the question was asked John DeCamp, how did you get British Broadcasting Company, BBC, interested in coming over and doing this explosive documentary that they produced on Boys Town, which was never aired? I did nothing to get them interested. Somehow, the BBC got a copy of an early edition of my book. They sent over a preliminary team, and for whatever reason unknown to me, the BBC sent over an entire investigative mission. Over a period of 9 months or so, they produced the program entitled Conspiracy of Silence. It was scheduled in all of the TV guides to appear on the Discovery Channel on a particular date, and at the last minute it was pulled and never saw daylight. So he did the book on it, and then BBC does the documentary. Over a 9-month period of time, they put together this Conspiracy of Silence documentary, and it was supposed to air but didn't, but somehow he got a copy of it. And it's leaked out all over the place through this guy John DeCamp. And in the video, it's not a word is mentioned about the archdiocese having been named in this lawsuit of pedophilia. So then I looked at John DeCamp, and he's promoting the same thing Alex Jones is promoting, this Bohemian Grove, which is a fraud. Basically, Bohemian Grove is there. Yeah, the pictures are there. The owl, some people say it has to do with Athena, this goddess Athena. It's definitely not Moloch. An owl was never Moloch. But there's a Bohemian saint on the shore of the Bohemian Grove. And if you look into the history of the Catholic Church in Bohemia, there was a mass murder of Christians, of Protestants in Bohemia, and so there's a lot of connections of the Catholic Church to Bohemia. So to name it the Bohemian Grove, it just shows that it was created. It's a Vatican creation. It's all has to do with the Catholic Church, high up people, and they want to keep it a secret. It's all revolves around secrecy. And so then you have DeCamp promoting this Bohemian Grove, the non-Catholic version. You have Alex Jones promoting the Bohemian Grove, the non-Catholic version. You got Gunderson, Ted L. Gunderson, promoting the Bohemian Grove, the non-Catholic version. And all these three have an interesting connection with this Franklin cover-up Conspiracy of Silence thing in Omaha, Nebraska. Alex Jones interviewed DeCamp, and in that interview, they leave out the name of the Monsignor who is the overseer of Boys Town. It's edited out of Alex Jones's interview with John DeCamp. And also makes it seem like this Monsignor at Boys Town was such a wow, he's coming out, I hope he has bodyguards. And I've seen Alex Jones do this before. Now, who is this person, he says? He did this with talking to John Connor about this Danny Bonaducci. He goes, now who is this guy again? He doesn't know Danny Bonaducci from the Partridge Family? I was watching all these different videos with Danny Bonaducci and John Connor. John Connor's a nut. He's a fraud. He's a nut. He went to Barnes and Nobles and had a big sign of a pentagram on a big huge piece of cardboard, and he was picking it up, and he had it up in the air like this, a big huge sign with a pentagram saying, they sell the Satanic Bible here. You know, he was like, as if he's protesting against them selling the Satanic Bible, but it looked like he was an advertisement for the Satanic Bible there. I'm just saying, that's what it seemed like. So, I mean, it could be construed that way. And I don't know if it would be misconstrued. I don't know if that's the word for it. I just think it could be construed that way. So Alex Jones saying, now who is this guy again? And then Alex Jones says to DeCamp about the Monsignor from Boys Town. Now who is this guy again? Same words. You know, it's like you see a pattern. And so then I do a search, pedophiliainfowars.com. And the only thing that comes up on Alex Jones' site is like, has nothing to do with the Catholic Church. So I know that this man is a huge whitewash for the Catholic Church. He's CIA. He's a Vatican agent. This John DeCamp was an aide to the director of the CIA. This guy that did this conspiracy of silence. He was an aide. I don't care what information he comes out with. I mean, to be an aide of a CIA agent, especially someone who became the director of the CIA, whom the George H.W. Bush replaced as director of the CIA. I mean, you got to be deep into the mix to be an aide of a CIA agent. So anything this man says, I would really look at very, very closely. And then Gunderson is promoting this Fatima, this fake Fatima hoax, where at Fatima in Lisbon there was this fake vision of Fatima, and it's like this whole big thing. And Mel Gibson went over to see one of the quote-unquote supposed witnesses of this Fatima miracle, where Mary appeared to 3 children. And this is like this huge sign. I haven't really looked into it yet because I just haven't gotten to it yet. But it's tied into Islam. A lot of people are looking at this thing. It's like this really highly promoted fake miracle by the Catholic Church. Gibson went over there before had to do with the Passion of the Christ. He went over there, and I'm sure it was like a big, huge promotion actually for that film. And Mel Gibson has at least 2 churches, like these branches of the Catholic Church, like really crazy sect of the Catholic Church. And it all goes to this Mary worship, which is just demonic. Because as I've said before, the Catholic Church, I've seen them out of their own mouths, teachers of the Catholic Church who are on TV saying that you can't get to Christ except through Mary. So Alex Jones, John DeCamp, Ted L. Gunderson. Another connection of Alex Jones and the CIA with this John DeCamp. And people are saying Gunderson is now CIA, even though he was ex-FBI. They're saying he's CIA now. And he promotes all this. He was on Geraldo Rivera's show when they had Michael Aquino back in probably the 80s. I have a videotape, a copy of it. Very rare. I was going to put it online, but I think it's just a fraud. I think the real Satanism is the Catholic Church, not Bohemian Grove and this Lucifer, this whole fake owl thing. I think it's the Catholic Church, Moloch. I think they really do worship Moloch and Baal. But the owl is not Moloch. So for Jones to say they worship Moloch, the owl is Moloch, that's misinformation. The guy's just a liar, and then he's got this whole elaborate story of how he connects the owl to Moloch on their site. If you look it up, I've looked at all this information. Okay. Now, all the people that are just these diehard Alex Jones fans, I think you're like graduates from Jesuit universities, and you were told to support Alex Jones no matter what. I think you're like this Catholic militant army that followed Alex Jones. I mean, I'm suspicious of all these these people, these Loose Change, We Are Change, the Browns, Ron Paul, It's all frauds, all of it. The Browns. I heard a copy of this Ed Brown supposedly talking from prison with this guy. Ed Brown sounded clearer on the recording than the other guy. That just tells me it's faked. And they do a bad job at faking. Just like they do a bad job at with this Bin Laden. Showing like they have us faked Bin Laden, this fraud. I mean, it's embarrassingly fake. To me, it's an embarrassment. All this stuff is embarrassing. And then the people, I'm embarrassed for the people that follow after these people. I'm serious. Because it's like they're doing it on purpose. They're trying to show that they're a fraud. This way people catch on to the fraud and they think that the whole truth movement, that the whole thing's a fraud. Because people who are hot on their trail of the conspiracy and are taking a close look at things, they see like all fraud within this truth movement and they get disgusted. And they get you to they just get you to throw your hands up and walk away. And this Alex Jones, he came out of nowhere. And William Cooper was talking about that, and then William Cooper was killed. And then Alex Jones is like getting people scared of the government. That's not a how is that a patriot? To get a whole bunch of people, and then he says publicly, "I'm scared of the government." So what do you think everyone, all his followers are going to start thinking? That they should be scared too. Do you know I just got a message from someone who said they had a heart attack listening to Alex Jones? Another person suited up in assassin gear and went over to Bohemian Grove with like 4 weapons to try to kill people. And he was arrested. This is straight up stuff. This is all a scam. This is all a huge psyop. They have to, okay, listen, they have the media locked. You don't think that they're going to really, really pay attention and like their first priority is going to be this alternative media where people are really looking for the truth and they're suspicious of the government, they're suspicious of the media, they're suspicious of everything going on. You don't think that that's going to be the number one target? Is this alternative media? And you got all these CIA people all over the place. You got the guy who worked with Thomas Braden, Pat Buchanan on Alex Jones, and Alex Jones is promoting his book. I'm amazed. I'm amazed at this. I'm amazed at the people who just follow, and the history doesn't support their outlook. History doesn't support it. History supports the Vatican being behind it all. That's what history supports. It supports the Jesuit orders being the snakes causing problems in the government, being expelled out of 83 countries. And then when they're expelled, they stir up wars against that nation like they did France. Who do you think? Who do you think was the tyrant king that we want to establish our independence from in 1776, around that time? Who do you think the king was? And who do you think he was in with? It's all the papacy. And now they're in here and they're like all over the place. Like roaches, like termites. They have to be kicked out of here by force. These Catholic traitors. High up. I'm not talking about the Catholic people that love this country that don't realize what's going on. I'm talking about the people who are in on the conspiracy. These high up people who are involved in the media and involved in mass media manipulation and mind games on Americans, and are behind the training of all these high up officers and officials, government officials. In Georgetown, right there, what used to be called Rome. Washington, D.C. was Rome, Maryland. And then it's amazing. I show all these different things, and people just like ignore it, and they keep passing out Alex Jones stuff like he's the king, like he's God, and it makes me really highly suspect of these people. Like, who are they? I mean, Alex Jones said in that St. Edward's University speech, telling people to get on the internet and pass around all this information. Alex Jones was known to be, he got his name from doing this thing at Waco, and he backstabbed the people there. He went in there and made this show, you know. Anytime Alex Jones does something elaborate, it's a fraud. When he went to New York and got arrested, it was fraud. When he went to the Bilderberger thing, Canadian, got held at the Canadian border, it was a fraud. When he went to Bohemian Grove, it's a fraud. When he did the Waco thing, it's a fraud. He stabbed to get people in the back. When he got arrested for refusing the fingerprint, was a fraud. When he got arrested for asking Bush a question, it was a fraud. He's a fraud. The man's a fraud. He's connected with all these CIA people. He's talking to DeKemp. He's whitewashing the Catholic Church's involvement out of Boys Town. And I just came on here to do this videotape out of a second. It was just supposed to be a real quick video, this video. But I'm trying to tell you, I'm trying to wake you people up. Spread this video around. Spread it around. It needs to be spread around. People need to wake up and realize that there's more to this thing. What does he call them? The globalists? He calls them the Illuminati. He calls them the elites. He's not pinning a tail on a donkey with the Catholic Church. When they got the highest numbers of members in Congress, the highest percentage, they got 5 out of 9 Supreme Court justices. You got Bush, who's appointing these Supreme Court justices in there, and appointing other staunch Catholics, and he bows to the Pope. They put him in there to have their way with America. George Bush is just a puppet. His father was CIA director. And he supposedly was involved in the Kennedy assassination, which I believe. I believe that. I believe he was rewarded for his obedience to the Roman Catholic Church. Kennedy started dissenting against the Roman Catholic Church, and he wasn't going to be their puppet. Him and his brother, they figured they had this thing between the two of them in the positions of power that they would be able to overcome and to do, but they killed him. They killed him in front of a whole crowds of people. And it's coming out that the CIA was all over that RFK assassination. That just came out more recently. So then you got CIA all over this truth movement, and you're not suspicious of what's going on. Why do you think they're all over this movement? The CIA, the Catholic. They were them and the Catholic Church are behind the Nazis. They all work together. Nazis, CIA, Catholic Church, Knight of Maltas, all work together. And they're all over this. There's an archbishop in this 9/11 Truth movement. You got Alex Jones. He said Mel Gibson's movies are the best movies he ever saw, the most powerful movie he ever saw. Talking about this apocalypto. Get this around, please. This is serious. Okay, you know why it's serious? Because look at all the trouble and all the disinformation agents are sending out. Why do you think they're doing that? Because if you start realizing it's a Catholic Church, they're in trouble. They are in trouble, okay? That's why they're doing this. They're scared of us. They're scared of America. They're scared of us. They're scared of the light. They're scared of the truth. Now get the truth out. History supports what I'm telling you. Our founding fathers warned of the Jesuits and the papacy.
I tell you, there's going to be